So it wasn't worth pestering about.
Good week.
That's
I'll catch you with the new bar. Back to the All right, now Jeff's here, we can start. It is 6:02. I say we call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance, so it's like. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public participation. Looks like nothing there. So, approval of the minutes from the September 8th meeting.
I looked them over there.
Everything looked active?
Yep.
I didn't see anything. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. New business. Code enforcement. Sorry. It's okay, take your time.
Okay. For the period ending 9/20, we issued 5 permits, total construction value of $141,479.26. They were all residential permits. We also issued 5 COs, performed 9 building inspections, 8 property maintenance issues, and 9 zoning enforcement issues. We had compliance achieved on 7 property maintenance and zoning issues. Permits that were issued, we had 3 residential solar permit, installations, an electrical permit, and a zoning permit. We performed our monthly patrol of the town, half the township. Got a property in Virginville that we've had some issues with. We're still working with them for high grass and weeds. We had another situation there that we closed the activity. We had some issues there with the property owner no longer responding to, she was at the old chapel in Virginville, to our letters and NOVs. So we did get that resolved. Had an inquiry from school district concerning possible solar project there. I don't have any details on that yet, but just like the Fleetwood Authority, they want to try and cut their utility costs, so that may be coming in the future. We've been working with property at 11 Farmers Drive, trying to get these people in the right direction. They would like to start doing truck parking on the property, which is not a permitted use. They would need zoning relief, but I think the hard part for them to understand is the land development that would have to go along with that. So I did speak to a land surveyor who works with those folks in the city a little bit. So I'm not sure where that's going to go at this point in time. they thought they could just start parking trucks there. And they were planning to have a bulldozer there and level a spot out and dump buildings on it. So that's gonna be a little bit more involved in that stuff. Other than that, I don't think there's anything that's too exciting. Does anybody have any comments or questions of anything in the report?
I just had one question. Might be a follow-up from something I think we talked about. I had a couple people asking about the horses on Forge Hill Road. Didn't we bring that up a couple years ago?
I know there was an NOV that was sent to them. I'll have to talk to Matt, see where that's at.
I just had two people mention it to me this month, and I said, I think we did something, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that was back in April. I haven't followed up with him on that. So I'll check in.
See what the story.
What was the issue?
They met some horses behind a half cop together or fence made out of pallets and rope.
Back off the road, but it shouldn't be where it's at. So
It looks, I guess, to some people, it looks less than acceptable.
yep. I'll follow up with that. Who handles the
That'd be fine.
I just had one quick, I'm sorry, Jeff. I had gotten a call and a visit from Mr. Whitwer a few weeks ago, 35 Whitwer Lane. It is a private road. People were using GPS to move around the township, move around Fleetwood, and they are using Whitwer Lane as a throughway, which it is a private road. He's responsible to do all the repairs on that. He had requested us to have us remove it from the GPS. I've never heard of anything like that. I didn't know how to remove mapping.
I just went through the same exact issue.
Yeah,
They have been using our road that leads between our properties, parallel to 222. There is a way to remove that from GPS mapping with Google. And one of my guys at work did it while I wasn't there to see what he did. But that can be done.
I did go on Google and did the edit just to let it know that all of Whitwer was private and to remove it from
What you have to
maps.
do is physically go in there and remove the road
Right.
on the map.
Yeah, I did try to do that. It did say that it accepted it, and I gave him a call just to let him know that it is removed. Whether it works or not, I have no idea, but it was accepted. But I didn't realize that that was an option before.
What happens is it turns out to be on, it'll come up on the Amazon delivery maps. It'll be on UPS too. And then once it's on there, it takes an act of Congress to to
Right,
get them to stop using it. We've been fighting this battle for a year and a half.
okay,
But now, I think within the past, my wife's been handling this because she has a big issue with it. So far, so good. So
Okay.
I think, and the key was you have to go in there and physically remove it on the map.
right,
And then it won't show up theoretically on the Amazon maps.
okay.
But yeah, that's a problem.
I'm talking about the one that goes up toward Osgood's. They can that in between.
Oh, yeah.
Where's the Whitwer?
Whitwer is next to where Boyer's Market is. It's the small street right next to where the entrance to Boyer's Market is,
Okay.
right off of Park Road.
And it goes in down at where the post office is.
Oh, I got
I have
you.
a
Okay, I got you.
They
It's
put,
behind there.
because we owned all the property up there since
So
1953.
it's on the other side of the
They
creek.
put-
Yeah, okay, I know.
Whitwer Lane on both sides, but which was fine, but now Google put it that it went right through it.
Yeah, I have the same exact thing.
Pardon?
I said, I have the same exact problem.
Yeah,
Where I have two roads with nothing in between.
right.
So is it a dead end?
It actually is a dead end to the houses, but we have roads to get up to our other houses and that stuff that we drive on. It's all private, it's up through the fields and that stuff. And you got these, Google showed it as it went right up and around.
Right.
Okay, which LTL did that many years ago when they were working for you people. They never contacted anybody. They just did what they wanted to do. And we just ran Comcast off the property because they're up there surveying. They want to put lines
They were on poles.
up to the driveway.
Underground.
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 They wanna go underground under the railroad track and that. I told them, I said, get out of here. I said, I don't want that here. Where are you going from here? You're all on private property.
Yeah.
You know, they gotta come into polls if they're gonna do anything.
Are there, is there signage that says dead end at both ends?
It's dead ended. Well, it's only that I can go, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, is there signs that say dead end?
No, they're up on the top, it has no, off of Ridge Road coming down, it has no public access, you know. Okay, but they're coming down that way and then they get onto Whitwer Lane and then it shows when there's a train across. The Google showed them to go up around through my fields and that stuff to get up around. And they can't get out anyway because the train's blocking on that side.
Yeah, signage, I know we put on our cul-de-sac, private road or through traffic or something.
Yeah, we tried that, it didn't.
I mean, not that.
Yeah.
that makes
That's,
sense.
that's
I mean, but
where
it's
that
something.
home was just sold
Yes,
in the last
Yeah.
2-3
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, there's no, they never had the right of way into that house, and I'm trying to work with the guy right now to put the right of way in where the old road used to be. He has a surveyor up there, I think a Hefner, I think it was something like that as a surveyor. They're supposed to be doing it, put it in there, but they sold that property and it was under false pretenses. But, you know, hey, there ain't nothing I'm gonna do and you're gonna do about it. But, we have, right now, the garbage trucks are going from Poplar and Ridge, come down and go down the road, you know, and garbage truck, they go down past Boyers there and go out on Park Road again, and they tear the road up, you know. I'm the only guy that fixes it. I'm the only guy that's got the right of way. I mean, she owns the road down there on that side at Boyers, but I own the rest of it on the other side. And there's, you know, it's just one big mess that, you know, so when she sees the garbage truck come down, she calls the company and tells them, hey, keep your trucks off the road, it's private. And, you know, we have signs up. We had a guy hit on the railroad tracks up there a couple years ago, and he was drunk and he really got obnoxious and he upset me because I was down there. And I told the police, I said, arrest him. I said, he's trespassing. So he did it, and 2 weeks later, our signs were missing, so we had to put up new signs and that stuff. But, you know, we got them all protected now, so it's not gonna, they're not just gonna rip them down, but it's, you know, you just gotta keep telling people, no. The route legally, the Whitwer Lane only goes up and across the railroad tracks. And the old gun club, if you remember, set up there, it was an old stone, the stone house is there yet. And that was the gun club and the trap house up there. That was the only people that had right of way to come down over. The ones off that are going up to Shirky and that, where he lives, that's not a legal right of way. Because when Knowles died and that stuff, they're the only ones that the township made them give a 50-foot right of way. But then the stone house, they never had anything, so it ended right there. It ended up right at Shirky's place up the top. But it's, you know, it's not, I don't want to block it off, and I know I can, but I don't want to block it off because I want to make everybody up there upset.
Right.
So they come down to the store and that stuff. But these people that come up and down, that shouldn't be there, you know, what are they there for? Are they there to scout your place out, or you know, to steal stuff, you know, what is it, you know? And I mean, I don't have a lot up there anymore. I used to have 500-600 cars because there's legal junkyard in there and it's still on the books. But the thing of it is, you know, you don't know what they're coming up there after. I mean, you have no idea. It's up in the woods and, you know, and I got a bad reputation anyway. I shoot first, ask questions.
They,
You know, I know that's wrong, but I mean, it's the way it is, man.
well, the best thing would be to keep good signage.
Yeah.
And the other really important factor is get it off the Google Maps. So it
Well, she
doesn't,
said it was off, so
right.
we're gonna see what happens there.
and if that turns out to be not effective.
Yeah.
Get a hold of Jen, and I can probably help you out with that.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
pretty certain I can get that done for you.
all right. Yeah, because it's not right, you know.
And I think a lot of that, being that it's popping up on the Google Maps, it looks like it's a thoroughfare then.
Right,
And then
because of
people
the,
think
because
it's
of the
a road.
old driveway that go up there that we put in, and like I said, I know if the LTL would have, when they first did it, how many years ago, 20 years ago?
That was a long
If they would have talked to the people, they would have found out what was going on. But they just did what they wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, Comcast, well, they could just come up that driveway and I run them off. And
Well, they're
then,
pretty good at not doing their research. They'll
yeah,
just go do it
yeah.
and ask questions later, so.
And then a week later, they're over at the other driveway where Boyer's is at the store. And the guy's over there and he wants to survey it. And she said, what are you doing here? And she said, this is all private. Leave.
Yeah.
So
They want to do anything, they want to talk to us.
is there another access to that other house that was just sold up there?
There is a right of way to that house, but where it was at, they would have to take down stone fences and everything else that was there. But they're from the stone fence over, it's probably where my right of way, where my land is, probably 12 feet. There's another little driveway that the old guy that owned the property years ago used to come up and down. So I even cleaned that out for the guy, that said, this is what you use until we get it surveyed and put the 12-foot right of way here.
Okay.
But he still has no right of way to go across the railroad tracks. He has no right of way to go down at the bottom there, go down Park Road. He has nothing legal on that.
Okay.
But, it was that way, but I'm not gonna deprive him of anything.
Right.
I'm not gonna deprive him because I figure, everybody gotta live together. But I told him, I said, this thing has to get done with the surveyor, because I'm putting gates up at my driveway, at that one over there. I said, nobody's coming up and down then, unless I let them. So, but he's, the house should have been burned to the ground. It's that bad. But he tried fixing it up, so I'm not, whatever he's doing, that's fine with me. But I know it was condemned and everything else there, so, but he bought a cat in the bag is what he did.
So my question is, can signage be put up at Ridge Road where
There is a sign up there.
public access ends?
There is a sign
I
up
would think
there.
that's where you'd want to put it. Yeah.
But that's not up to us.
That's a township road?
Township Road comes down to, if you know where Sharkey lives up there, his driveway there's a tree there, it used to come out on the upper side of the tree at the time to get on, that's where the right of way ended. Well, since then, when he redid his driveway, he put it down below, where everything was approved, so it doesn't matter. The driveway's there, I'm not, carrying on with that. But it's above his driveway is where Bridge Road ends.
Okay.
It actually, public access ends there, and it's private from there, from Sharkey's, all the way down to the railroad tracks. And then it's Whitwer Lane from there down into the thing.
And all kinds of people use that as a shortcut.
Well, if it's a private road, you certainly would have the authority to gate it too.
I understand, but I don't wanna,
I know.
you know how it goes.
I know exactly how it goes.
You're right, and you're gonna create all kind of
That's
enemies.
right.
So what we're trying to do is get it taken off the map.
Yeah.
And maybe the upper part of Ridge Road could be taken off, the lower part, so that it shows that it ends there. Maybe that would help too. I don't know. I have no idea, but.
I would take it off the map from one point to the other.
Yeah.
And then put some good signage out that you clearly can't miss when you're coming in
Right,
and see what happens.
right. Because the top part
So-
up there, the Spanish people that bought that stone house, and they fixed it up real nice. They go out the top a lot, so, it's like they're supposed to be coming down, but they're going out the top. So you can't be,
I know.
it's 6 of one, 7 of the other, and you get caught in the middle, but
So can the township put a sign where Ridge Road ends, saying that, a bigger sign?
it still isn't gonna matter. They're gonna try to come down anyway. If it gets taken off the map, that's
Well,
what
the
the
only
biggest
thing-
part.
We would be able to, Rob, you can correct me, to just say like end of township maintenance or something like that.
I think there is a
That's
sign up there.
Yeah, I don't know what that
There is a
says.
sign up there that it says, end of the, I don't know if it says end of Township Road or it has something on it. I don't remember what it was. I should have,
But that wouldn't necessarily deter people from going there.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
You'd be better with a strongly worded
Private property.
do not enter,
yeah,
sign.
yeah,
And some people are still gonna ignore that.
yeah.
But
The thing of it is up there, you're on somebody else's property. Where it comes off, you're on Shorty's property.
yeah, you would really
No,
have
and
to
you'd have
do
to
it
let-
on,
He would have to, he would have to agree to it and
that's
that
right.
stuff, that's
He
the
could
whole
do it with
thing.
his,
What we have the big, where you come up from off of Park Road, there's a big sign there, private property and private driveway and, and then from there, when you get across the railroad tracks, then that Stonehouse, that's their stuff up in there. But it's, like over at my other road where you come in past the post office, go past the body shop and that stuff, going up that way. The body shop, Donnie, he wanted to put a house in that field, he bought that field. And he couldn't do it, because he didn't have a right of way across the railroad track. The only thing he had was a farming right of way.
yeah, that's,
Okay, so the farming right of way, you know what that means, only when it's crops and that stuff on. So they couldn't build a house over there legally, because they don't have the right of way to go across it all the time. So, but years ago, I went and had right of ways done with Kenny Sands, if you remember him, used to be the lawyer and that stuff. I got 4 right of ways to come across there. So if I ever decided to build up there on the 20 acres or whatever up there, that I could do it. And then it was shut down, the railroad crossing. So that's why Donnie and them couldn't get a right of way across the crossing. Because they shut it down, the railroad did. But
yeah, it's an interesting situation.
it is, and it's this, that's why we signed it, figured we'd get it taken off the map. We ain't gonna get them all. There's no way you're gonna get them all, but we're gonna get some people, like we had 2 up there that were from out of Reading. What were they even doing up there? Oh, well, that's on GPS, this is why we went this way. Come on. So that's the ones
Well,
we
that's what
wanna
I'm
stop.
saying, what, the Jeep, and the Google Maps
Yeah.
don't show it as a thoroughfare. People aren't gonna go there if they know it's a dead end.
If they don't
If
see it.
If it shows it through, as a through road,
Right,
then they're gonna see it as a way to get down or up, whichever the case.
that's why we figured, she worked her damnedest on it to try to get it shut off, so. We'll see
And
what
that's-
happens, with that,
And that's something you can quickly check,
right?
just bring up Google Maps and see if it shows it as a road.
The only
Sometimes
problem
it takes
is,
a while.
Right.
the
That's
only
what he said,
problem
it
is,
just said it was approved, but it might take some time for
Yeah.
it to actually appear on the map, so.
and the only problem is I still use push button phones. I have no idea how to use this other stuff.
Well,
So can we also have, Ridge Road taken off?
if it's not a township road,
It's not from where it is, where it ends up, where I said where Shirky lives up there, right there is where it ends. It's not, that's all private coming down through.
Have we ever maintained that portion, because it may have been vacated?
I don't think so. Have we ever maintained that, Bobby?
No,
No.
No, just to where the pavement starts.
No.
Stops. It's the only part.
the guys I told the township and that when they were up there, if it's bad snow or whatever, you gotta just keep going down through. I have no problem, they gotta get up there, it's on a hill, and if they're gonna get stuck and tear up things, it's better to keep on moving.
Yeah.
And get down through and get out there. I have no problem with that stuff, but it definitely, if it gets taken off, I think we may be a little bit safer with it. I mean, we're still gonna have the people coming up and down. There's no 2 ways about it.
I would just want to make sure that we've never maintained that or did anything.
No, never
I don't
maintained.
believe we ever have.
Well, I'm talking like within 21 years, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we'd have to research.
make sure we're not
But-
paying legal fuels money for it or anything like that.
How does that work? if it's just privately owned property, would it be within our jurisdiction to have it removed under Google Maps, even if he doesn't own it?
No, we're gonna have to have whoever's permission.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Who owns the road?
Sam owns some of the roads, Shirk, then it would be the house that is where they have the carnival trailers and that, they own it, and then Sam bought Noel's place, so he owns it there, and then it would be the, Spanish people that bought the other house, them people are the ones that own Ridge Road coming down, and that's only, it's 12 feet at the top, where Carl Noel's property was, when you go on and look at it on a map, that was put in, the township made him put 50 feet in there as a right of way. So if they ever wanted to bring the township road down, they could, but it never happened. And then below Carl's property where it was Noel, which is Shirky's now, then the Spanish people own that, and that's only a 12-foot right of way. And when you get across the railroad tracks, that's only a 12-foot right of way going down through. So
Just to clarify, when you say right of way, the township's not a party to that, it's between the owners. So
it's private.
we use terms intermittently, I mean, we interchangeably, so that's why I just wanna make sure that it's not, like, right of way could be the side of the road for us, or something like that, so I just wanna make sure it wasn't.
It's a different right of way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different. What I would suggest you do is see if getting it off the Google Maps successfully makes a difference for you.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
The
That's
next step
that
would
way.
be to get
Yeah.
permission from both of those landowners.
Right.
And remove it up top there too.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Well,
And then-
she found out how to do that. She'll
Yeah.
have to go on and,
Yeah,
Take
and
care
she
of
can
that.
do that. But that would be, we'd have to get written permission from both of them
to remove it off.
to remove it off the map.
Well, Sam would be the one, and really, like I said, the people with the thing, with the carnival wagons, they only have a short piece in there, and then it would be the Spanish people from halfway down the ramp, down to the tracks.
3 different owners.
There are 3 different owners.
Yeah.
And
So
that would be the
who owns-
next step.
Who owns from the track then down to Borders?
That's ours.
That's yours.
That's ours, yeah. We have that. The other ones don't. I don't even think the people, they don't have the right of way, but years ago, the railroad came up there and wanted to eliminate that crossing because of being accidents there.
Right.
I went to court on it with them. And they told me at that time, the railroad, I said to them, if they would take that, a hard hump and take it out and make it more gradual, they probably wouldn't have the problems with the accidents and that stuff. And that's when their mapping department came out and told me, we have no right of way on that road. We can't go do that. But they have right to come up and fix the crossing. That's about it. But they can't, they don't have right otherwise, so. I mean, we had big discussions on that. I was in court about that, so.
Chances are pretty good. Once it doesn't show it as a through street,
And it's,
the volume of traffic is gonna decrease
that's exactly right. That's
quite a
what we're
bit.
trying. We never had this before, these new fangled with the phones and GPS and that. I think it just made the world worse. That would have made it better.
Sometimes I think you're right.
Right.
But, yeah, that would be, see where it goes from there, and then if not, go to the next step and make it, or take it off up above there.
Yeah.
And then the next step, I guess you put a gate up. But then you're just gonna.
The
gate
gates
yourself
are
out.
gonna start to go up anyway,
Yeah.
but still, I don't wanna block it off for the neighbors.
Right.
So it's easy to them to get down to the store and that stuff, so.
Yeah.
And as long as we have a good, talking relationships, I'm not gonna beat on them, I
Right.
lived up there since 1953, so, when I was a kid, so I know everything that goes on, I know everything that goes on with the railroad. But that upset me a little bit with Comcast, because no, you're not,
Yeah.
out. Then he took my name and number, and I said to him, well, have your people call me, and let's sit down and talk. they didn't do none of that. And I guess she said they were over, called her about it. Did they? Did they Comcast call you about something?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, they're coming into the area hot and heavy,
yeah.
Comcast is, so they'll take advantage of anything they can get, they can do.
Yeah. Well, years ago, they put a line underneath the railroad, alongside the railroad. When they came up through, I said to them, I said, you can't do this. You don't own the property. The railroad doesn't own the property. Railroad only has right of way up through there. And that's it. And then they wound up in a class action suit. They had to pay all us money to run it across the line. And then on my paperwork, I said, if anything ever happens, you better take this line out of here. I said, because it's on my property.
Yeah.
So,
That's the way the right of ways work.
yes, you're right. And you gotta stay up on it, but it really got to be a problem here in the last year.
Yeah, and I think that's all the mapping programs,
Yeah.
because it's not just Google.
Yeah.
There's Waze, there's 100 other ones. So, but once you remove it from Google, it tends to remove it from all. That's what they base it off of, the Google Maps.
Right. When they went to sell that property up there, there were so many people came up there that I just blocked the roads off. I said, you ain't coming in my roads, that's it, I blocked them off.
Oh, they were looking at to buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, when they were
Well,
looking.
I know, I was called up there by the fire department due to the condition of the house, because I had to go up and post it.
That's when he passed away,
Correct,
when Larry passed away.
yes,
That was a mess.
yeah.
It was a mess before that, but
You know what cats are, and they're in the house for years.
One of those, you'd have to fix it up to condemn it.
Well, they condemned it, and then this guy's trying to fix it up now. And I mean, more luck to him if he can do it. I mean, he's working at it, so, I'm not gonna stand in his way.
Yeah.
But he has to change all the electric and that in it, because the squirrels were in there chewing wires and everything else, so. I mean, it's bad, but
Sounds like.
it's, if he's fixing it up, fine, and if he's gonna get this guy up to uncondemn it, whatever, that's up to them. I'm not against him, He seems like a decent person, so, I'll work with him.
Good.
Do you want us to confirm or wait and see what happens as to where Ridge
I
Road
think we'll
is?
wait and see what happens.
Okay, yeah, wait for this for the Google and that.
Yeah, see what happens if the activity slows down. We don't
Yeah.
have to take further action.
I know the folks on the other, well, on this end, the Spanish folks, they're nice people.
Yeah, everybody's,
I did quite a few.
they're nice up there, but when you get up over the top of the hill, then you got some problems with people up there.
Because then we had issued permits for
Right,
everything that he did there. We had
right,
a fair amount of building inspections that we did there.
yeah.
Did
Well,
a
they
really
have-
nice
they
job.
Yeah, it's
they
not-
guarded in there. They have,
Yeah.
They did a nice
they
job.
did
with
a
it.
nice job and stuff.
I got one question yet.
Sure.
What are they ever gonna do with this circle over here?
As far as,
Having a cop stand there all day and knock off all these cars and just think they can keep going through. Doesn't a yield sign mean when you pull up there, you stop, you look, and then you go again? And when you pull up there, come out the other sides, nobody wants to stop.
yeah, it's,
Well, yeah, I'd say half the people understand, half don't.
yeah,
Yeah, they don't, they think 222 is a right of way and it's not.
Whoever's in the circle first, you gotta yield to them.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't understand, they just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I know.
I know when it's my turn to go, I'm going, and if they run into me,
well, the other thing too, you gotta understand that that's a very busy thoroughfare there. A lot of those people aren't from around here. A lot of those people aren't from this state. Some of those people have never gone through traffic circles. So,
But a yield sign is the
a
same.
yield sign is a
everywhere.
yield sign.
Yeah, but they,
I'm not trying to make excuses.
Yeah.
I never assume they're gonna yield. I always
Yeah,
make sure they're gonna yield before I go
Well,
out.
yeah, when I pull up, I
They all
stop and I
stop.
look, and then if, they're keep coming, I figure, hey, it's my turn, and I just start going. You're gonna run into me, fine.
it's bumper cars out there.
Just wait till they get the one down there in Blandon done with Deco.
Oh, there's two more here.
Yeah.
You figure they'll learn here before they get to those.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It is what it is. It's
I mean, they did have fine with the traffic light. There was nothing, I mean, they always had lineups there.
Yeah, major.
It made it a little bit better, but people just don't respect anybody else.
Someone's gotta keep the body shops busy.
And the coroners.
Yeah, exactly. Follow up with Jen then.
Yeah.
If they.
Yeah, no, yeah, we
We
will.
will problem,
Yeah.
and we'll go to the next step.
And like I say, when she sees the garbage truck, she's just gonna call the company and tell them, hey, you gotta keep them on.
That's your best bet.
That's the
You gotta
easiest way to do it.
Call their dispatcher,
Yeah,
because he's the one that routes them,
right.
and then they'll route them around.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty good.
And they know when to get home, they just-
Yeah,
All righty,
we'll see what happens.
see what happens.
Yeah.
All righty. All right, guess we're done then. huh? SEO report. Been a lot going on there,
Just a reminder, we have to set the rates by resolution. I saw that he was discussing the sewer rates for next year, so just a reminder that it has to be by resolution. So
huh? And the police report. Nobody's here from them, if they do come, we'll let them buy one over it. Looks like an average amount of crashes. Maybe we need another column here for the circle crashes.
Check that
You know,
out.
break them
Well, if
out.
they sit up there, they'll make so much more money for you.
Well, if they sit over at the grocery store, they can make a lot of money
Yeah,
for ticketing people coming up and down that road.
No, they can't be everywhere.
yeah, nothing out of the order there. Fire company reports, Virginville. Did we have anything from Walnut?
No, they did not bring anything.
And there was an issue with call cards. It's coming up that Brian's gonna have a meeting.
Meetings,
Get
yeah,
get
so-
everybody together with the cut cards and figure out what's going on there. We're not gonna touch that this evening. That'll be in the next week or two. Then there is Lifeline. Again,
It's like an average month.
average one. 31 calls in Richmond. 47. All right. Now, we have the approval of the resolution designation of Berks County Tax Collection Committee members. So these are committee members that are already committed to this?
Yes, these are actually members of Fleetwood Borough and Maiden Creek. They are going to be overlooking the tax collection.
And these are volunteers?
They're supervisors.
They are supervisors?
Yes,
Okay. So we would be approving both of these?
yes. And actually Maiden Creek approved it, but they also needed hours because they will be doing hours as well. It's a joint.
So they are just gonna be supervising?
Correct.
I don't see a reason why we shouldn't approve it. I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-09.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I also make a motion that we approve resolution 20-2025.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Now, there was something that, we have, gotta go through the Historical Society here. There is a public meeting on the 15th at 7 PM, the Fleetwood Historical Society. Do we have to take any action on that this evening?
No, it's just
a-
just for information. They just want, the Berks County Planning Commission wants to speak with the community, letting them know how far we are on the Fleetwood, Maiden Creek, Richmond Joint Comprehensive Plan, if anyone else has any input, and just see where it goes from there.
And this is at the Historical Society.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's no action, it's just to let everybody know
Let
that,
everybody.
that there's gonna be a meeting.
Very good. And we'll keep moving. Discussion of township's position on potential data centers coming to the township and how we should respond to this.
There's a couple things you can look at and talk to Scotty, talk to Jeff. Do you have a catch-all provision, which is anything you don't provide for in your zoning ordinance, it would have to go in that district, short of asking for a zoning variance? You can always ask for a zoning variance. They can also ask for validity challenge if you don't allow it anywhere or provide for it anywhere in your zoning ordinance in any manner. So if you didn't have the catch-all and you said, no, we're not gonna do it, they could file a validity challenge for that to happen, requiring you to do that. The third way would be if you wanted to look at, I have not been involved with drafting regulations. I've been approached by a developer in one of our jurisdictions about one being installed and looking at the zoning ordinance from that perspective. Would be if you wanted to amend your zoning ordinance to provide where it would be located and regulations therefore. So,
Do we have the catch-all?
Well,
what did you find? Because I glanced quickly tonight.
so if you look in the C1, the C2, and LI zoning district, you have under special exceptions, any other uses determined by the board to be of the same general character as the permitted uses.
And glancing very quickly, I don't know it would fit within that for C2 because that's really retail and business professional and things
Sure.
like that. The light industrial, it might. You've got research establishments, laboratories for testing, so they would have to go get storage and warehouse establishments. They would have to go to, if they were looking at going in there, or the industrial, they would have to get a special exception.
So we do have something that we can refer to.
You do and you don't.
You have a look where they can be located, but you don't have any regulations as to what they would have to comply with to go into that district. So, for example, if they would come in and apply for a special exception, and you could Jeff and Scott, you think you would have to pretty much go through the application and make recommendations as conditions to the zoning hearing board as to what you would want to see if the zoning hearing board granted them a special exception. And as you know, a special exception is basically a permitted use.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's permitted use.
So is that a fair statement that,
It is. I think, the biggest issue, and I'm not an expert on the stretch, but they use so much water to cool the equipment.
Two big things, power and water.
And I've heard, the volume of water could be in the millions of gallons a day. So how, is it really an issue for here? Because where are they gonna get that water supply?
Well, if they do it with wells, it's an issue.
Yep.
So the aspect of having an ordinance, or if you wanted to, as Michelle said, we have drafted one right now. It's still draft where we're looking at the other municipality. But we have that here, and I can provide you guys with the copy. This was based on, PSATs basically led the charge on trying to provide municipalities with language to try to establish this, knowing that it's coming in at different locations, you just don't know where. So that's what this is based off of, is generally that, I don't want to say generic, but here's your sample ordinance that they came up with. And then we kind of added a few things just that other places had, whether it was different setbacks or the big ones being the additional studies. So that has the study for the electric and for the water. That doesn't really necessarily mean you get the study in and boom, good.
Right.
That kind of brings up
so
them
if,
justifying different aspects of it, but yeah, I'll send you a copy of this stuff.
if they would go for special exception rather than, in one of the zoning districts, rather than provide for it in the ordinance, you could always use this as a checklist as the conditions recommending to the zoning hearing board. Again, they're just recommendations, so there's no guarantee the zoning hearing board will follow those, but
Well, my big concern would be that they come in and request, they're coming, they're gonna be here soon. My concern would be that they come in And they have an area that's permitted. They have the power available. They rely on wells, which is where they're gonna do it for the most part. And then they start to draw immense amounts of water. And I'm not sure, do they discharge it?
That I don't know if they can reuse it or if it is a single use. I haven't heard that comment.
If it's just cooling water, you think we should be able to use it?
Yeah, my vague recollection in this, like an hour meeting I've had with this potential developer is that it's most of it's reused.
I don't think so.
Well, that's not horrible.
As long as it's not contacting.
I guess
And we
it's
can
the
double
fear of
check
the
that.
unknown that scares me.
I, literally as I was getting ready to come here this evening, there's an article of one being proposed in my neighborhood. Not my direct neighborhood, but in one of the 5 townships that serves my school district.
And there's gonna be a lot more proposed.
Do you have the power source here?
We have a lot of 47 kV lines. I mean, there's grid power here that they can use. Now, is there enough? I don't know. But there's a lot of power crisscrossing the township.
Is there a substation?
Uh,
Is that the correct term?
Yeah, there's one fairly close by. I think it's it's actually be the corner. It's actually Lehigh County, but it's close enough, I would think. But there's big delivery lines. There's some that cross right here, literally.
Yeah, they're
can see them
upgrading
from
all,
here.
that's what they're upgrading on the poles on those. ones.
Right. Yeah, they are. But I don't know, my only thought was if there's action we could take early that would shield us from some of this stuff.
The other thing, Sam, is these buildings that they're using for these basically warehouse sites.
Yeah, they're enormous.
Well, they're warehouse size, but where your warehouse is 50 feet, or if it's like a cold storage warehouse, some of those they push for like a 70.
This is maximum 80 feet high.
That's what this one proposes. Some of these are up to 120 feet high.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, depending on where they're going, that's one of the things is the height. This would say you're capped. So there's that where it does kind of create some of those regulations, which are nice. But from what you're saying, maybe, I mean, I don't know, it's the industrial district where you'd like to say that would be the most appropriate.
That's just, if there's a district that you definitely want to say, this is where they're limited to, then you may want to.
As of right
Now,
now,
we
it's
already
just
have
the-
that in the corner of the township. It's a very small area. But, that's the other thing I could see. But
Like
now,
the industrial, the light industrial.
yeah, back on the eastern corner there.
Yeah.
But then there's also talk of them doing smaller data centers as well. So who knows what the future brings.
Well, if it's a smaller one, it might not have the impact the negative impact that, 1 million square foot building would have.
And that would definitely take unbelievable amount of power and water.
Mhm.
Which I don't think exists right now, but I guess they're gonna figure it out. All right, well, let me
Yes.
chew on this.
I was gonna say, if you guys look at this, and I think the location is probably the other one, if you want, if any feedback from us on that, just let us know on that, but this, and trying to figure out where that location would be specific to the township would probably be the best thing. And just hypothetically, if this was ready to go, it would still need, what's timing for the process if it went into play there?
I would have to we'd have to draft it specifically for the Richmond, we'd go to both Township and Berks County Planning Commission, 30-day time period for them to review, and then we typically advertise for the meeting after the 30 days, so it's roughly 60, I would say 90 days to be, at least. Drafting, review, and advertising.
It's always nice to paint a picture, but that's once you have an ordinance, you identify this looks good and you have a location.
Right.
If you were to switch that.
I agree, we should do something.
Yeah. And I don't know what yet.
Yeah,
I'm just putting it out there at this point.
and again, this is a good draft off of what PSATs is even recommending, so it's.
Let me digest this.
Okay.
And then we'll revisit it next month.
Next month, okay.
And if it's something you're interested in, not so much for data centers, but for larger zoning amendments, which reminds me, we have talked about sound of, anyway, maybe a joint meeting with the PC. That way everybody's kind of, you have a discussion and drafting it together, so.
Yeah, that would be smart. Okay.
You're worried about all the water and stuff with just something like that. I mean, you take like, and not to criticize, but that building that Peck is putting up down there in Maiden Creek. Look at how much water and power they're gonna suck up down there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they would have been a further up, would have you left them in the Richmond Township and how would have been? You know what I'm saying?
But that one's just gonna be bulk storage. So I don't know, they're not gonna be, as today, they're not gonna have data centers in there.
No, but the stories I heard, they weren't gonna be storage.
Years ago, when we used to do this with the wells and that, they always used to say you gotta go at least 400 feet to drop into the underground river.
Yeah.
Could you put a stipulation that they gotta go at least that deep to hit something like that, the underground river?
Yeah, I would
Then they wouldn't have a problem with water because it's plenty down there.
It's not necessarily a footage, and Scott, you just handed me this, but typically it's some type of hydrological study that shows that they have to have the
Yeah.
capability or have
Okay.
the source for the
where
water.
the aquifers actually are.
Because we used to have trouble up there. We drove 400 feet and hit the underground river and we ain't got no problem with water anymore.
My concern is that they use so much water that they lower those aquifers.
Mhm.
And then people like you start to run out of water.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
No.
Well, and can't you put something in there too then, if they start affecting neighboring wells, they gotta supply water to that.
Yeah, but once
park
they're
or
there
something?
and they're pumping it, then it makes it's much harder. It's much easier to do it up front.
Sometimes we have to do testing. but
Yeah, and then you gotta
before they
prove
come
that
in,
they're
and-
doing it, and you can really get in the weeds real quick with that.
Yeah, and there is, at least with this sample and what we took this from, there is a pretty detailed section for what they have to supply for that
Let's say hydro
study.
study.
And
It says no adverse impact on groundwater supply and quality of the area. It's got just
Very
general
so of course, they're gonna say, yeah, we don't, but that's when a township would more than likely rely on like a third-party company to evaluate that study. I mean, that's what I'm seeing on other, not this use, but on other uses where you have somebody coming in, have to do those studies.
Yeah.
If it's really, I mean, the digesters is a big one coming in, that it's like the food and the manure waste combination. We had relied on a third party to come in and look at those studies because you're getting to another level that you just,
Oh, yeah.
anybody sitting here is not gonna be able to, so you get that company to come in and say, you're yes or no. But that's if it gets submitted, those studies.
We're just trying to get ahead of it a little bit.
I understand, yeah. I mean, it's definitely you have to. But
So,
the water today with all the droughts and that stuff, you don't know what's
That's
gonna
right.
happen one way or the other.
They don't make any more of it, so,
No.
but we'll revisit this.
Okay, next month. Okay.
All righty, whole business. Discussion on brake retardants, have we gotten anywhere on that?
So, I mean, this is, I know I brought it up before where we had, to you just to see it. This is when we had looked at the 222 section. That was coming off of the bypass where you start connecting to the original 2-lane highway there. And looking through that, there are specific requirements you have to follow when you're doing these, and I really gotta find the notes on this one. Basically, anytime you are going to restrict that Jake brake or the brake retarders there, PennDOT does have to review this study. So, one, you'd have to have this completed, submit it to them, and then they have to look at it and review it and approve it, and then the township would then have to post it and enforce it if they approve it. So that would be on the local police to enforce it. The problem with that section 222 is they will not approve it if the posted speed is 55 or greater. And that area is 55 miles per hour. So that's the area where they would more than likely just shoot it down. I had a call into them to get that answer. They're almost impossible to get on the phone, so follow up with an email, but I haven't had that confirmed. But that's not only in this that it calls that out, but in their stipulations. where they
55
review.
or 4% green.
I don't think the 4% is an issue. I think.
Yes, I don't think that's an issue. It's not that,
I see where it says 55 here.
Yeah, you're gonna have an issue with that area for the 55. Now, they do say that if that's not the concern, like say it is posted lower or you have a 85%, you do a speed study and it's lower than 55, then you can justify it, but I don't know if you're gonna get that in that area.
No, it's definitely not lower than 50. People come flying in there and try to cut each other off before it narrows.
That's the big one, but in reading their regulations, you are able to propose any township road, portion of a township road, or it even says the entire municipality, you can actually submit this for the township. I think they're looking at probably boroughs when they say that submit it for the whole municipality. But I think that area, we're gonna have an issue, but if there's other areas that you still want to evaluate, and that's,
I know those are your biggest concern.
Well, anywhere along that 222 corridor, or even approaching the circle, or go to Sheets and get gas. It's unbelievably loud there. I mean, that's all needless.
I think that area you might be able to.
It's not 55 right there.
No,
It goes down, doesn't step, does it go down?
I don't think there's any signage.
Is it there?
No, I don't think
I
there's,
think it's 55 right into the circle.
I think there's a section in Maiden Creek.
I only
you
go
might
by there
see
100
it
times a
45.
day. You think I would know
No, I don't really pay attention to that either.
I think the only place it is over in Maiden Creek, and it's 45, I think.
Yeah,
Beyond that circle,
yeah, I
as you
think
leave town, I don't
it
think.
goes
they have
right to
any.
55.
I do think, I agree. I think it does.
Jake brakes ain't bad unless you're on straight exhaust. Half of these guys
Oh,
that are running straight the way they have to, the Jake brake isn't, it's just there to help them stop.
Oh,
But
yeah.
half these guys are running open exhaust, no mufflers in that, and they're gonna be loud like you wouldn't believe.
Straight
You
pipes.
hear
They
Yeah,
wait to dead.
that's where the police should be knocking them off.
They can't without the signage.
Well, the noise limit, isn't there a noise limit on that?
That's what we're trying to do.
That's, yeah,
Okay.
I don't know
The problem is it's state roads for the most part.
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do with state roads, except try and get them to put some signage up.
Right.
But even that takes an act of Congress. And there's the sheets that tell you that we don't qualify.
Yeah.
So,
Because the ones that are straight pipes, they cackle like you
Oh.
wouldn't believe. And they shouldn't be,
no, I
they
know,
should be knocked off and that's it, but.
they're actually illegal,
Right.
but there's no enforcement, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right, well, there's not much we can do there unless we have places that are not state roads or not 55.
Man, I don't know if you had any other areas you wanted to look at before that.
Well, I mean,
I mean, at some point they will get back to me.
My
by
thought was
email.
something,
I know.
just make, if we could have an ordinance that it was just done in the township. But we can't do that because they're state roads. So
I think we
You
would
said it's on
want,
township roads.
township roads aren't a problem.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
so
you're
we-
right, probably not, you're right, they're on the back roads.
No,
probably
That's
not.
not where the truck traffic is on the state roads.
Okay.
So I think we're fighting a losing battle.
I'm on the other side of the bypass, and it's just as bad there.
But it's that
Oh,
whole
the
corridor.
quit's down the other side.
On the far end, where it turns into Max Tony on that end, I'm in the borough, but it's you have the same thing.
It's even like that on Park Road too.
Oh, yeah. But
When people are waiting to turn into the grocery store, you have them come down from Fleetwood, especially when the grain trucks come in.
oh, those are great.
See, that's an area that you may be able to.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
It's
want
not
to
55
consider.
there.
No.
So, like I said, I had a call into them and that wasn't working, so I put an email in, so I will get an answer now that it's in writing.
Okay.
It's usually when they have to return, but I can ask them at that point. Just to see if that's an area or even up near the traffic circle. But
Circle would be nice.
I just don't think the end of the bike, I mean, I'll still ask that question, but I know that after looking through that, that's gonna be the answer. So,
All right. Keep chopping away.
man, great news, but it is news.
All right. Engineers report.
So, Willow Crest, I don't know, Jen, did you copy the board on that at all from that last update we got or not? From Mario, that they
And
did,
he was ready for inspection? No,
so, okay,
Do we have streetlights?
no.
they're in, they had and I found out what their holdup was, at least that's what they had stated, was there was an area where they just could not get the lights to work. They had to replace it, which was no problem. They had to go under driveways and they weren't getting the go ahead to go under those driveways or cut them, so they had to do a boring. And they had to get somebody in to do it, and they just had trouble getting it. That's done, it's in. They need crafts inspection, which is, I believe, this week. I don't know if Mario actually scheduled it like he said he was gonna, but we'll be out there in a day or two from when he calls it in. And then they'll submit the cutting card to Med Ed, and then it's unfortunately in their court to do that, but I will say Jen's been reminding them that this is
I
coming.
think
once
Vicki would
that-
be very quick because she did say something, the craft has to go out and then they can be energized. So I think as soon as craft goes out and does that, I think they're going to be, because I've been on them several times this month.
So as soon as we get the call, Joe and I.
So they can get the
Right.
lights on.
Right, but I'm just saying down the road, when do we?
They are gonna, once the lights are on and they have one or two little things that they might have wrapped up, I haven't gone out to double check them on the sidewalk stuff, but then we are set where we can do dedication for the roads.
And streetlights.
They wanted, their streetlights would be,
And the streetlights would have been holding us up forever.
yeah. So that's it for the roads. There's also some easements that'll go along with that dedication now. I think Chris was okay with the dedication to the streets, even though the open space was gonna trail a little bit here, because Robbie and I met with Grande and the Conservation District to just kind of go through that extra work. There's gonna be a transfer of a permit eventually from Grande to the township's name, just to keep that permit open, because once it closes, then it's,
Painted.
yeah. So that's open. He wants to have a conversation with Michelle or Chris's office to just talk about what the way the agreements work. They want to put the horse before the cart or the cart before the horse, however you want to look at it, and try to switch the names before they do the work. I think we need to have them explain that to Chris, who drafted out that agreement to say yes or no. But the dedication, the lighting is the one that hopefully that's coming. So to that point, and before I forget it, the Conservation District did not have an issue with the work that we had in there for Grande to do, with the exception of the parking over near the school-owned fields on that side of the open space area. We were looking for them to do just kind of grade and put in some stone for that. I think we might be able to do a little, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get as much parking area added as we hoped, just because it's pretty much outside of the permit area for everything we're looking for. I think they kind of said, look, in your permitted area, we can consider it, so.
Is that part of the dedicated, that is part of the dedicated ground though? Or is that?
Where they would do this, yes. The part that's a little bit beyond, that's kind of on the school property where the school said, sure, we're okay with it.
Those extending the parking that they got.
Yeah. I think we're getting a little outside of the conservation district's comfort area. Really.
And we're doing a maintenance period with the streets and the streetlights.
They want to request no on that since it's been so long, but I think that's.
But the lights aren't working, so.
Yeah.
I'll talk to
They
Chris.
did pave it probably 2 years ago at least, but this happens every time. They pave it, good intentions of dedicating, then it sits for a while, and then they want the shortened maintenance period, but
I'll talk with Chris about that. I've got an issue in another jurisdiction where we took dedication of the lights as soon as they stopped working. And we had stopped, so we may want to at least keep some escrow for the lights,
the lights.
particularly if they've already had issues, so.
Yeah.
But I'll talk with Chris.
So they didn't get the dots connected? Is that what happened with the lights?
Yeah, they had a break on one. They did need to come in, I mean, Med-Ed did say there's additional switches that we didn't have on there at each one of those boxes we need to put, which then put them back into, okay, we have to wait till you're out here to put those in. But that coordination with Med-Ed didn't occur for quite some time. There's a gap there. So, but now that's all it.
Good.
The construction's done. They just need it inspected and turned on, but
Snow plows that.
they are. That was what I was gonna get to. With the dedication, we're past the liquid fuels, so there would be a
We missed it.
cost that they would have to post if they want to still go through with that dedication. And I think the answer was, yeah, we understand that. They'll pay that, but at the same time, I'm sure they're saying, well, we don't want that 18-month maintenance period either.
But they would pay basically for snow maintenance until.
Yes, it would be what you would be paid for liquid fuels for the year.
Right.
For some reason, I want to say that's around like $3,500 to $4,000.
I think that's what it
I
was.
think that was something, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I was skeptical that we were gonna get it done in time anyway.
They just took forever to get back in there and finish the work.
Well, let's get the lights working.
Yep. So, solar farm, just quick update. Well, basically, they're requesting, as of today, it's the 13th.
Yep.
Is their temporary certificate of occupancy. The temporary is expired as of today. They have the request in that's stating they want a, whatever the number is, but it takes them to April 13th, 2026. Their statement is that will allow the vegetation to get finalized. There's still a patch in one of the basins that the conservation district is holding their feet to the fire, saying it's not done. They did just replant some dead trees, so they want to make sure those take. They still have that ADS permit not closed out. And they want to, well, this just falls into part of the request. They want to give the opportunity to see that the restricted plate is working. I think they have to wait anyway, so they do that way. But, yeah, that's the request, is to extend that. I don't necessarily know if the board has to approve that extension, but I think this is the process we followed to just make you aware of it, to make sure that you know that's the process. Otherwise, I think,
Typically, we would just issue it.
yeah, typically we'd issue that extension, but unless there's,
The reason not to,
yeah,
so we don't need to take action on that. You're just gonna extend it.
unless there's reason.
Yeah, unless you have a reason or objection to doing it, and I'm just looking, the April 13th date this year, ironically. That's why they put 182 days, so.
Yeah.
No, Scott and I were out there, what, last week? 2 weeks
Probably
ago?
2 weeks ago now.
Look, actually, looks good. Looks really good.
Yeah.
Drove by. They got the restrictor plate in.
I saw the dead trees, but it looks like they're replacing those.
Yeah, they had a couple.
Because we haven't had any substantial rain.
No.
Try to restrict the plate.
Today was probably the extent of, as far as anything.
Not much of an extent.
Yeah, so they haven't, that thing is not.
But it will rain again. But I think that'll make a big difference. They did a real good job. So we'll see what happens.
That's about it for me, other than one thing I'll add is, the sewer plant and the contractor that's putting in the solar panels on that property in Crisscross, they are starting as of today, I think is what they're hoping. There's kind of a rush to get everything in line to allow for that, but soon to happen, they are gonna start moving in there to put those into place.
Yeah, I think he said it was gonna be October, November till they got in there.
Yeah, they figured this week.
So
They picked the permit up this morning.
just to bring your attention to it, to see it.
Oh, I know about it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about it.
That's it.
Okay. Very good. Solicitors report.
I do not have a delinquent summary report from you because we did not get one from Pam, which I based it on. But we do have a request for 14 Chapel, is that the correct address?
Yes.
I saw that.
Requesting a payment plan. If you're satisfied with the proposed payment amount and the condition he remains current on current payments, the only thing I would add that we should add, if he can make any additional payments, please do so, they'll be credited, there'll be no harm or if he doesn't, so.
My feeling, as long as he shows goodwill.
Yeah, that's what
We'll
I
work
agree.
with him.
And then we'll have, what we do is, if they sign an agreement, they'll fall through, we can go after them for failure to pay in a breach of contract, so.
Well,
So if we wanted to do a motion to accept the proposed payment plan.
yes, I will make that motion to accept his payment plan for outline on this letter here, on this letter here.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We continue to work through the Comcast. Just got word passed to me late last week about comparing with your service electric, so we'll have something for next week.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, I have nothing else. Thank you.
Very good. Well, then we'll move on to step right.
I think this one says wasn't on the agenda, it might have to wait until November.
Yeah, they didn't put anything on the agenda. He didn't reach out except for today. The agenda was already posted, so.
So,
Well, they're just talking about the remote call.
right,
Right.
for the,
From what his explanation is, that it's working but intermittent. So I don't think it's the end of the world if we look to still another month.
Okay. We'll put that
We'll
on for
defer
next
that,
month.
but just make sure it gets on the agenda.
Yep.
next time. And he has quotations here for everything, so we know what's involved with. All right. Roadmasters report. Robbie?
I don't really have anything to add other than the road report. We've been trying to finish up with a bunch of base repair and mill and fill throughout the township. We're just about wrapped up with that. And that's where we're at with that. We're basically all done mowing. We're gonna start trimming some trees, cleaning the gutters, and start working on some of the dirt roads before winter.
Good. Anything else out of the ordinary?
Still a bunch of dead trees, but we're working on them.
Oh, there's plenty more.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. All right, I guess we will, the truck deal's done deal?
Yep, that's done. That's all taken care of, and seems like they're pretty happy with it.
the one lease for.
Yeah. Did we approve that all through the meeting?
Through the email we did, that's why we're reaffirming it
Okay,
now.
so we need a motion tonight to do that?
Yes.
All right, so I think we're good with both of them, the truck and the trailer. So, I'll make a motion that we approve the sale of the F-350 to Leesport Borough for the price of $15,000.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye.
I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure Fleetwood has their meeting tomorrow,
Okay,
and they're gonna run it through their board. But the last guy I spoke to them, that it just needed to go through the motions. So, I guess you would just.
well, we can approve it from our end.
I believe
Assuming it's
so,
gonna be
yeah.
$5,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. I will make a motion that we sell our trailer to Fleetwood Borough for the price of $5,000. If they're willing to offer that much.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That takes care of that. All right. Anything else?
That's all I have.
You're looking at buying another trailer then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get specific prices, but they're, the ones that I've been looking at to replace that one are about 10 to 12,000, give or take, depending on brand. So just a matter of finding one that's in stock. I'd rather not order one, maybe find a leftover somewhere.
You have time.
Yeah,
Shop around. Good. Very good. Treasurer's report. We're broke.
Okay. In the general fund, we had check numbers 12-108 to 12-147, including EFTs for $322,472.05.
Make a motion to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
State fund, we had check numbers 2135 and 2136 for $209,000.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Light fund, we had check numbers 2186 and 2187 for $1,692.90.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sewer fund, we had check numbers 3351 to 3364, including EFTs for $31,663.17.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Walnut Town Fire Escrow, check number 2197 for $1,005.50.
I'll make a motion to pay it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Virginville Fire Escrow, check number 2201 for $1,005.50.
And I will make a motion to pay it.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I do have, Scott's office had gotten together and gotten me the frontage feet for the properties in the Willow Crest development, so we could start working on the light tax levy. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be $150 or $160 or something like that per month as the light between the fixtures and the actual LED lights. So we can work on doing that budget time.
Budget.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have the measurements and everything for that for all the addresses.
Good.
So that'll be that. And we need to set a tentative time for the budget meeting, which will be on Friday.
3 is good for me.
Or works for me.
Okay, 3 o'clock
Just
on
confirm
Friday.
that with Brian.
3 this Friday.
Okay,
3 this Friday.
You don't need us here, right?
no,
I didn't think so.
okay, that's all I have.
That's it?
Mhm.
All right. Chairman's report? No chairman, so we don't have a report. Public participation from the floor. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah. Question, is it possible to get some sort of speed monitoring system out there on the Dryville Road? I mean, I'm up there near the township line. Cars are flying up and down there doing 60 mile an hour and still going.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's that bad. I don't even feel safe stepping out of my driveway to get my mail.
You live in Snuzzles?
No, I'm just up above the
Above the gun
crossroad
club.
where the houses are.
Oh, Dryville Road, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you mean. Comes in, yeah.
Robbie, do we still have our speed sign working?
we do. But, I assume we can put it on a state road, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was
Not
gonna
certain
say.
about that.
That would be the gray area, that's a state road. Now, we have a nice sign that reads your speed out. It's
Yeah.
actually very effective. It makes people aware of how fast they're actually going. I'm not certain how that works on the state road though.
I can ask.
Yeah, if you wanna ask, but
No, find out.
No,
Rarishburg, is Rarishburg Road
well,
state
how
road?
does that work with Fleetwood? They have one on Main
Oh, I-
Street.
you know what?
Ain't that a state road?
Strausstown, they put it out on their road all the time.
You can do it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they.
You can't put a sign up, get the cop to sit there in my driveway and start clocking them.
I was gonna say, maybe they know too, should ask the chief just to see if he knows.
Yeah,
He might.
we'll look into it, but the cop's only there for a short period of time.
Yeah, I
The sign's
know.
there all the time.
Yeah,
And it lets you know how fast you're going, and it really works as a good deterrent to keep people, they go, oh my goodness, you know.
Yeah, people always back off when you say.
They always, I mean, it works really well.
it's only helped with the neighbor that I,
That's right, well, it's,
the neighbor that moved in down the road from me, he's a real idiot. The way he carries on, that place looks like a real crap hole down there too now.
well, white lines and speed signs work pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if they don't use them for timing, it still makes people go, ooh, good place to get pinched, so.
Even, I've noticed a lot too lately, as I drive out of Fleetwood, and I turn on Fordsdale, Dryville Road. It's like, people are crawling right up your ass, think you gotta be doing 55 mile an hour up through there. I mean, I don't think that's even, is that a 55 mile an hour zone there or not?
No, I think that's all.
But that's where you get all sorts of accidents there all the time between that and
It's because of that one lane bridge
School
there, right?
Road.
Oh, yeah. The railroad
The
underpass.
railroad, yeah, the bridge is there.
Yeah, I actually have a meeting tomorrow night with, we work with Upper Tobac Township, and in Strausstown, they bought one of the same exact things you guys have and leave it on Main Street quite often. Just because that's one of the places, I'll just ask them what they've
Yeah.
done.
Yes.
They could very well say, well, we don't care.
We just do it.
Yes, I think that might be the answer, but at least they'll get their position and,
Right.
yeah, maybe the chief knows and I
Talk
can
to the
ask.
chief and find out.
We'll find out. And if it's something we can do, we'll put it up there.
I appreciate it.
That'll slow it down.
I mean, went down there in front of the neighbor's house, now there's all sorts of burn marks all over the road and everything else.
Hot rod.
That guy's a real piece of work.
It has them all. Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
Anything else? All right, well, then I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? And Jeff, if I could have a moment of your time. I won't hold you up too long.
Scott Jensen, no PC this month, but likely November.
See,
All right.
oh, it came in late, yes, I was thinking like, oh man, I got the Walters review we're doing, but we're doing the review.